Oh, good. It's crazy. All right, we're going to be starting the Sage and Friends podcast recording here just in a minute. I got to find my... What do I do with my lip balm? Oh, there it is. I have to have lip balm. Can't be just recording podcast without lip balm. All right, let me just do a sound check here real quick. I have to have lip balm. Can't be just recording. Good. All right. Good. All right, hold on. I have to, okay, this goes here. This goes here. This goes here. All right, are you ready? Or are you ready? I'm ready. I got to take off this sweatshirt because you know why? Because it's freaking 90 degrees in this office. Okay. I got problems. That's all I'm saying. Okay, hold on. Okay, all right, good. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? Here we go. Here we do it. Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Sage and Friends. This episode of Sage and Friends is brought to you by Sage Rock Places. Sage Rock Places is super easy websites. Super easy, super cheap. So look. There's great places to get websites. You got web developers that'll spend, you can spend thousands of dollars on, like me. I do that for people, okay? I gladly take their thousands and thousands of dollars to build their websites. You can go to WordPress.com. You can go to Squarespace. You can go to Weebly. You can go to Wix. Go to them. Go. They have more marketing money than me, which I have no marketing money. But here's why you should go to SageRockPlaces.com. Me! Because it's super small, because, I'm doing an episode right now on how to be successful. Obviously, a person that is successful doesn't do an episode of their podcast on how to be successful. They don't. Because they're asking the question. So look, there's not a lot of people over there. You're going to get me. I need to turn down the volume. I'm amping the crap out of this thing. It's going to be one of those loud shows today, ladies and gentlemen. Look, it has tons of plugins. It's a WordPress environment, okay? It's just like WordPress.com. I swear to you, it's the same environment. WordPress.com is just WordPress multi-site. I am using WordPress multi-site. So, look, you go to WordPress.com, you go to Sage Rock Places. Same thing. It's the same platform. Except, not only do you get me to help you along the entire way, but if you want special customization, you just like it. Hit me up and be like, Sage, I need it to do this. Can you make it do that? And I'll make it do that. Try that at WordPress.com. It won't happen. You get what you get at WordPress.com. You get what you get at Squarespace, at Weebly, at Wix. That's it. Because they're massive empires. Look, if I become a massive empire with Sage Rock Places, maybe I'll rewrite this compelling commercial. But until then, look, there's like 100 people on it. I can handle 100 people. I think I'm just about ready to turn over the 100th website. It's very exciting. So come over to Sage Rock, come over to Squarespace. That's what every other podcaster promotes, Squarespace, squarespace.com. Come over to Sage Rock Places and sign up. Websites start at $9 a month. And here's the thing. I get you online. You don't just get an account at Sage Rock Places and have to scramble around. You are going to be online. You are going to have a website. It's not going to be the most massive, amazing website ever, but it's going to have like your picture on it and what you do, and you'll be able to put the domain name on your business card. And you will have a website. I will do that for you. Go to SageRockPlaces.com, SageRockPlaces.com, SageRockPlaces.com. All right, let's get into the show.
Sage and Friends.
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 My kid often asks me, it's like he's trying to learn small talk. And he's been asking me or my wife, Rocky, like, how's your day? How'd you sleep? You know, like he'll ask at, 7 a.m. in the morning, how was your day? Which is pretty awesome. Like, I'm like, well, you know what? I woke up and I'm still alive and I feel pretty good. So 10 out of 10. And that's what he wants me to rate it on a scale of 0 to 10. But if here's the thing. If the day is not a 10, it's a tragedy. It has to be a 10. And I'm still amping the freaking... Jeez. I have too much range in my vocal cords. If it's not a 10 out of 10, he's like, well, what's the matter? I'm like, it's a 9 out of 10. He's like, why? What happened? I'm like, can every day be a 10? And he's like, yes. If every day isn't a 10, there was something tragically wrong. So you always are like, it really helps you bring up your day when you're talking to him. You're like, well, I better make sure I have a 10 out of 10 day today, because otherwise if I tell him I'm having a 9.5 or a 9, I'm going to have a lecture about what I'm doing wrong in my life. But I've been, he'll ask, so how was your day? And in the last several days, I have been saying, well, I'm still not famous. I have this new thing. Ryan Scanlon, what's up? It's on the live stream. I have this new thing where I think I want to be famous. I don't know. Okay. So today's episode is how to become successful. How to become successful. And I am not the guy to guide you in success, considering I don't consider myself successful. This is more like a joint therapy session. We are going to move along in a group format to uncover the secrets of how to become successful. So I thought an interesting point, we're going to look online. I'm just going to Google this. We're going to read articles, maybe listen to people. How to become successful. Okay, it's going to be exciting. Well, at least get us to Sage Lewis status. Okay, Ryan. Dude, I don't know. Okay. This is a great... Okay, so Ryan Scanlon is watching the podcast and live. And thank you for being here, by the way. And I would classify Ryan as wildly successful. So Ryan is known as the homeless homeowner. He has actually been on the Sage and Friends podcast. You can go check it out. It's actually one of our most popular podcasts. It has a very, very interesting story. He says he hates when I miss it. Well, that's so nice, man. Thank you. He is or was, he's right on the edge, I would say, if you asked him, homeless. And he has, for a variety of reasons, it's not important to this conversation, but he has made a decision that, okay, yeah, Ryan, I would like you to come back on this show, actually. Because, yeah, you're a very compelling dude. So he has decided that he wants to turn his life around and he wants to have a home. And the reason he wants to have a home is so that he can be a good role model for his kids. And that is I would imagine, one of the great noble quests of life, right? I mean, you hear that, right? You hear those words coming out of my mouth. A guy that wants to turn around his life and wants to go from being homeless to being a homeowner because he wants to be a good role model for his kids. And he's well on his way. But it's been very challenging. Like, there's a lot of challenges. And we really should have him back on because we can talk about the challenges. It's not easy. It's one of those great quests. It's the great quest. It's like, The Hobbit, right? It's like all those quests. The Hobbit, where the Hobbit had to go? I don't know why. I don't know. Something happened. He needed a ring, or I can't even remember. I just recently read it too. I don't know. He had to go on a quest, and it was filled with danger and suffering, but it was a worthy quest. He says it's a personal success rather than public or social. Good point. Okay. So that leads me. And okay. So now let's compare Ryan Scanlon to The Hobbit. Okay. Ryan here said that is a personal success rather than a public or social success. I would say that The Hobbit, the story of The Hobbit, is very similar. It was a personal success, a personal quest. My precious, right? Yeah, you know it, right? The guy, what is that guy's name? The greedy goblin guy. I can't remember his name. But, he's one of the roadblocks in the way to success for The Hobbit. My tea is cold. My tea is cold. There's a fine line when it's too hot and it's too cold. Too cold. Anyways. Smeagol. Thank you, Ryan. Yes, indeed. Smeagol is one of those. Well, it's all a symbol. The story of The Hobbit is a symbol for what should be our lives, I think. They're all symbols. Star Wars, Jesus, Siddhartha, which was a Buddha. The most famous Buddha of them all. These are all symbols, and whether they are true or not true is irrelevant. They are guides for our lives. And so Ryan is a perfect example of a Hobbit-like journey and quest, a noble quest. But he brings up a very valid point, which is, well, that's a personal success rather than a public or social success. And that's interesting that he brings it up because that is how I wanted to start. That was what I was thinking about on this podcast. How to be socially or publicly successful. Because I think that's what we're all trying to achieve. So we all want to be successful, right? I mean, yeah, I want to be successful. I want to be successful, man. Like, yeah, man, I want to be a success. I want to make or financially, public or social or financial success. Right, Ryan. Exactly. A lot of times it's financial. I want to be financially successful. But we use this word success. And it's almost like a conspiracy. Because it's like Barack Obama's hope or Donald Trump's Make America Great Again. Success or hope or Make America Great Again are these what are cleverly disguised traps. because they are unachievable. You can't be successful. Successful is like this archetype. It's a thing that doesn't exist. It's like, I want to be good. Plato had the form of the good that you reach for, but yet you never can get because it is unattainable in the world. It's like a form of a triangle. Like, you think you know what a triangle is. You do not know what a triangle is. A triangle is 3 points connected by 3 lines. That's not even probably the most accurate way to describe a triangle. But that is a 2-dimensional object, okay? As soon as you look at a triangle, you have ruined a triangle because it has become 3-dimensional. You can only symbolically represent a triangle, you see. You can't actually make a triangle. Do you get what I'm saying? It's never 3 points connected by 3 lines in space. Because a point is... You can't see a point! It's smaller than the smallest thing ever. You take a quark, smaller than a quark. You take a Higgs boson, whatever the hell that is, smaller than that. So, success is like that. The word success is a structure that is an illusion. And I believe, to follow the conspiracy through, it is a construct that our government has put on us. Society has put on us. You want to be successful, man. You want to be successful. Ryan says the Latin successus, the form next to go, to move. Okay, good. Okay. To go. Sub next to. Okay, so maybe what Ryan just posted, like breaking down the word success. To succeed. Next to, or to go, or to move. So maybe what that is, if he's suggesting what I think he is success is like the end of a rainbow. It is a place you can never get to. The etymology of the word, yeah, right. Success by itself is meaningless. And so, in my opinion, if you want to be successful, you have to stop saying, I want to be successful. Because that's like saying, I want to get to the end of the rainbow. You will not get to the end of the rainbow. It's impossible. It's impossible to get to success. And in fact, some of the most successful people in the world, like when I think of so I am, yeah, right. You are successful, right. Because, or you're not, or none of us are, is what I guess I'm saying. None of us are successful. Like, for example, you take Martin Luther King Jr. He made great strides, but he died at a time when he went to Chicago, and he was appalled by Chicago. He was like, I don't want to misquote him because it's not a quote, but a paraphrase. He basically said that, like, the North basically made the South look like a walk in the park. The North was so effed up. And then he gets killed in Memphis. So he never gets to see. All he sees is this shithole that is the North, and then he dies. So in many ways, he was unsuccessful. He died unsuccessful. He saw just yet another, he just got to the mountaintop and saw another valley of hell. Same with Gandhi. India splits apart into Pakistan. His dreams never fulfilled. Unsuccessful men. It is an endless rainbow achieving success. So let's talk about becoming rich. There's always something else. So let's take the richest man in the world, which I believe right now is Bill Gates, right? It goes back and forth between Warren Buffett and Bill Gates. You take either one of those guys. Basically self-made guys. I know less about Warren Buffett. I watched a documentary. I don't know, right? I mean, very wealthy, right? They're wealthy. The top two richest guys in the world will never have old money. So there are people that look down on them. They're new rich. Nouveau riche. Yes, of course, they have a lot of money, but they don't have what we have. We have legacy. You see? They will never see that kind of wealth. Yeah, new money. Right, Ryan. They will never have legacy money. And so I guarantee that's irritating because they have gotten word that some family is like, oh, he thinks he's so great because he's the richest man in the world. Well, he doesn't know what it is to be rich. You know, I guarantee someone has said that about Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. I guarantee it. Jesus. Can you imagine? Ugh, it's exhausting just thinking about it. Ugh, good God. And so, success is this illusion that I think just leads to a lifetime of suffering. Because here, you take Ryan Scanlon right here. I mentioned his success. And he's like, well, come on. I mean, I'm not I'm not rich. I'm not socially validated. See? So you just go and go and go and go and go. It will not matter how rich and how famous Ryan Scanlon gets. There will always be another level of which he has not attained. Mark Maron, probably the most famous podcaster out there. Mark Maron. Is that right? We gotta look it up. Mark, is that his name? Let's Mark Maron. Let's see. Yeah, Mark Maron, WTF. He had Barack Obama on his, not yet, next goal, right. He had Barack Obama on his podcast. And by the way, Mark Maron runs his podcast still out of his garage of his house. The President of the United States did a podcast in a guy's garage. And I just listened to a podcast and he was talking to another comedian talking about if he was happy. And he's like, no, I'm not happy. I mean, he's like, I'm going to therapy. I'm trying to get happy. I'm not happy. He has the most famous podcast on earth. The most successful, at least. Debatable of the most famous. I don't know. Look at downloads. Compare him to Joe Rogan or something. Not happy. Not happy. It makes you realize that you may never be happy. So, if success is a thing that does not exist and is an illusion, a conspiracy by society to just keep you running, which is what I think it ultimately is, just to keep you running and running and running and running. Be a success. Be a success. Oh, the Joneses. Look. Oh, you're psychologically jealous of the Joneses? Well, look what the Joneses got. Oh my God. Oh my God. And then what happens is the government and businesses work so well together because so often the key to success is just one more car away, or one more house away, or one more course away, or one more therapy appointment away. All of which, coincidentally, cost money. So the secret to success is having money to be able to obtain the things you need to become successful. And that works very well with the government because when you buy things, they get taxes and they get money and they become powerful. They become powerful and the companies become rich and power and money. And you have given your power and money to the other people. Spent $2,500 on my truck a couple weeks ago. Doesn't matter. Things broke, and they needed fixed. And I was thinking about it, and as I'm like giving this guy $2,500, I'm like, well, that's cool. So it's like a local guy. It's this iRace marathon down in West Akron that I really like. And I'm like, okay. You know, he bought into the marathon franchise, but it's just this guy. And I'm giving him $2,500. I'm like, well, that's cool. There you go. I happen to have $2,500, which is crazy. It's another story. But I happen to have $2,500 to give to this guy. But then I was like, but you know what? So half of that money, at least, went to the person who sold him the parts. And it wasn't Bob's Part Store. It was some big conglomerate part guy. Okay? It was half of the money went to some big company that sold him the part. And the big part guy, somebody made the part, but I bet you they maybe gave him half or less than half to make the part. I don't even know how many lines there are. The guy that made the part, which I don't even know where he lives, China or Alabama, I couldn't even possibly begin to tell you the guy that made the part where he lives. But there was a guy that made a part, a human being that made a part. But I'm willing to bet of the $1,200 I gave that went to the part, I bet that guy made 100 of it. The rest of that $1,200, which is $1,100, just went into the coffers of companies. The company, give me the company, I want your money. And then I would say, well, okay, so the other $1,200 went to the people at the store. I'm like, that's cool. They live in Akron, $1,200. So I give them the $1,200, and I guarantee all of the money is going back to the big companies. They go to Walmart for food and clothes. They go to the city for utilities. They go to the gas company for just the big gas company. It just all goes back to the big companies. The money just goes back to the companies. And the people just have to give it to them or are conned out of it because they are believing that if they could buy this one thing after they get past their living expenses, that if they just buy that Cadillac or they just buy that Ryan Home development home, they're going to be happy. They've either been required to give the money or they've been conned to give the money in the belief that they will be successful. And if I had to guess, success for them means happiness. And Mark Maron is not happy. Mark Maron, so successful and not happy. Are you happy? Is your house bringing you happiness? Is your fancy car bringing you happiness? Do you check it off and you've now declared yourself a success because you have that house or you have that car? No. The house isn't big enough and the car is getting old. Right, Ryan. Success is a trap. It's a trap. That guy actually in the new movie Rogue One. It's a trap. He doesn't say that, but I really wanted him to. It's a trap. I want to be successful. It's a trap. Let me see if I can find this little quote from the Dalai Lama. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can pull up this video. Okay. All right. Here, listen to this. Listen to this.
Now here, I think, on fundamental, because the human level, I usually, share with people the ultimate source of peace of mind, happiness in mental level is within ourselves. Not money, not power, not status. Some of my friends, maybe billionaire, very rich, but as a person, very unhappy person. The plenty of money fail to bring inner peace. And also those people who are very powerful, I think in deep inside, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of fear, distrust. So material value will not bring real inner joyfulness or inner peace. So the only thing is affection or warm-heartedness. That really brings inner strength, self-confidence. That reduces fear. That develops friendship, trust. Trust brings friendship. We are a social animal. The genuine cooperation among each other is very necessary. Genuine cooperation entirely based on trust. Trust is there. Then, naturally bring together. So therefore, once you see within yourself, more compassionate mind, heartedness, whole atmosphere become more positive, more friendly. Through that way, you see, when you look at the front, you feel, oh, my friend. Look this side, oh, friend. This side also. If you keep here fear, distrust, and you yourself make little distance from other, then that person look here, oh, little suspicion, distrust, more cautious. Look here, again cautious. Look here, again cautious. As a result, deep inside, lonely feeling. Then the problem, blood pressure, too much stress. All these come. One occasion, I think in New York, Columbia University or something, there's one sort of conference with medical scientists. Yesterday, also I mentioned at that conference, one medical scientist in his sort of was a presentation, right? He mentioned those people who express often I, my, mine, like that. So such people have greater chance or greater risk of heart attack. He didn't explain why, but I felt it is quite true, as I mentioned earlier. Deep inside, fear, distrust, and you yourself always remain a little distance from the rest of the human brothers, sisters. That brings loneliness. And then difficult to communicate with other human beings. After all, you are a social animal. You are part of the community. You have to deal with them. But the very very factor which your interest or your future depend, because of your own inner weakness, you yourself isolate from them. How can that person be a happy person? So more worry, more stress. Sometimes I describe the too much self-centered attitude, too much selfish. Close our inner door. Through that way, difficult to communicate with other fellow human beings. Once develop more sort of sense of concern of well-being of other brothers, sisters, then inner door automatically open. And very easy to communicate with other people. Irrespective whether believer or non-believer, these quality or potential from birth we already have.
All right. So there it is. The opposite of happiness is isolation and fear. And what happiness is, he says, warm-heartedness and compassion. And what I love about the Dalai Lama is that Tony Robbins isn't going to say this. You know why? Because he can't sell that. How is Tony Robbins going to become a billionaire, which is a very well-known goal of his, to become a billionaire, which is fine. It's great. How is he going to become a billionaire by telling you that you need to be warm-hearted and compassionate? The homeless people that I work with are this. They have no money. There's one guy who really doesn't even like to have money. Doesn't feel like he needs it at all. He's always thinking about how to help other homeless people. The Dalai Lama approach to happiness doesn't sell. It doesn't work for society, for the government. It doesn't work for business. And so you don't hear it. All you hear about is happiness is his car, happiness is his house, happiness is the Joneses, being like the Joneses. The messaging that we are constantly being drowned in is you are not successful. And the reason you're not successful is because you haven't achieved this. And the Dalai Lama is like about the only voice I know out there with any kind of actual pedestal that is saying, you've been tricked. You've been deceived. You are unhappy because you are afraid and you are isolated. He says we are social animals. You know this. If you want to be happy, you must become warm-hearted and compassionate. Happiness, success, starts with a base of warm-heartedness and compassion. And then everything else that you do, as long as it's based on that warm-heartedness and compassion, it's just frosting on the cake. It's just a good time. You always come back to warm-heartedness and compassion. When you're feeling unhappy, become warm-hearted and compassionate. And you don't need to become the Dalai Lama. People asked Mother Teresa, what can I do to help the world? And she said, you know what you can do? You can go home and love your family. Because they need love. They're as good as anybody. You don't need to go to Calcutta and feed the homeless and starving. You have homeless and starving right in your own family. Either truly homeless and starving or emotionally homeless and starving. But they're there. They're completely there. And that, I believe, like the Dalai Lama believes, that is happiness. And happiness is success. Obviously, if you do not believe in happiness being success, then, there are people that are like wildly successful, like, Pablo Picasso, right? Like, and that's totally legit too. But I think what the Dalai Lama is saying is if you want to be successful, if you classify success by achievement and material acquisition, you should anticipate not being happy. Because those things are not the same. I maintain that a happy rich person was happy before they were rich. You know it's true. You see the people winning these multi-million-dollar lotteries end up committing suicide, becoming broke again, getting addicted to drugs. It's not the money that makes these people happy. They were happy going in. And they were probably happy because they are kind, warm-hearted, compassionate people. That's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. So, if you want to be successful, determine what success for you is. Is it money? Is it power? Is it achievement? Or is it happiness? I think a lot of people think it's happiness. And what I'm telling you is if it is happiness, that car you drive and that house you go to are not it. They are not happiness. They're not even contentment or comfort. I like to be comfortable. I want to be comfortable. You're not comfortable. You're anxious. You're afraid. You want a bigger house. You're like, you eat it. It's the golem inside of you. All right, I want people to care about me and people like me more than I want the money. Yeah, and people like me more than I want the money. Yeah, right. It's about the relationships, people. It's about the relationships. I will tell you this. I have a lot of different avenues, venues going on, a lot of things going on. I enjoy life. I typically think I'm pretty happy. But nothing is more fulfilling and more satisfying than working with the homeless. It's amazing. It's way deeper than trying to chase down money. Money is this bottomless pit. You could just snow shovelfuls of money and it'll never fill it up. But do one nice thing to a person. Here's a little test. Next time you see a person, panhandler on the side of the street, give them $1 and see if you don't feel good about it. You have paid that person $1 to make yourself feel better. They gave you happiness. See if I'm not right. Give them $1. See if you don't feel good. Right, Ryan? All right, party people. You guys rock. Thanks for hanging out at Sage and Friends, and I will see you all next time.
Sage and Friends.
Sage and Friends. Sage and Friends.
Sage and Friends.
Sage and Friends.
Sage and Friends.
All right, party people, that was a wrap. Thanks for hanging out with me on the podcast. I am going to save it right now and upload that sucker to the Sage and Friends podcast. Yes, you know, I'll put a link to it in the Twitters and the Facebooks like that. Thanks for hanging out, Ryan. Thanks for participating. That's fun. It's fun. All right, everybody. I think that's a wrap. I will see you all later.